Okay, so now I want to explain what a bucket drip irrigation system is like. An example that we use often. You can look in your agriculture stores and they will have kits like this, and it does cost some money, but many of them last between 3 and 7 years, 5 to 7 years of time. So I want to explain the parts so that you understand the idea of a bucket drip irrigation. So first of all is the bucket, right? The, the cubo, right? So we have our bucket, and the first thing we must think about is how to attach to the bottom of the bucket. So the hardest piece to find, or the hardest thing to do in a bucket system, is finding this valve piece, okay, to put in the bucket. This piece here, it has an unscrewing piece to go here. So what we have is one piece goes inside the bucket, and one piece goes outside the bucket. And then they screw together through the bucket and make a good seal. Okay? Then once we have our valve on the bottom of the bucket, then we must have something to connect down towards the place where the plants will grow. So we have these two lines right here. We have a set of two because there are two holes on the bottom of this. Okay, so this comes out and there's a mesh screen. Okay, here's one that is clean. Okay, so it has three pieces. One inside the bucket, this is outside the bucket, and then there is rubber on the bottom here that has a mesh screen, you see, so that you can see through. And the two holes go to these pipes, okay? They go to the pipes, and then from the pipes, they go to fittings that go to drip tape. So here's the fitting that we use, okay? And it connects with an end to the pipe. Okay, do you see what we are doing? So we go here to here. So we're in the bucket. Right here. And then we have our drip tape, okay? So this is a small one. They usually will have holes. They'll have holes along the lines, okay? But you can use a regular garden hose, and I'll show you that in a minute, okay? So this connects then to the fitting, and this will run the length of the garden. It will run, and you'll have each hole where you're growing a plant spaced. In the kits that we buy, it will be 12 inches or about 30 centimeters. So this is one option. You can buy a kit. You can resource a kit that will work by itself. You can make sure to follow the directions of the kit itself. When you're trying to close the other end, you wrap it over itself. You'll cut an end like this, and then you'll wrap 1, 2, maybe even 3, okay? And then put the piece over that, okay? So make sure to follow those directions, all right? But if you don't, let's say you can't afford to buy one of these kits, that's okay. That's okay. This is my idea. So we don't have this, but you can get a bucket So for this way, you need a bucket, you need some glue, some sealant, okay, and a regular garden hose, okay. The garden hose has connections on it that go together, okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this as if it's this valve here, this for this. So we'll cut the hose right at the base. This will allow water to pass through the valve from the bucket right at the bottom, okay? So we take this end, and you have to make sure that you cut the hole very exact, okay? You cut the hole and you screw it in. And then you can hook up the other end of your hose to this fitting, to this line. Then what you want to do is you want to use your sealant and you want to cover the rim, the outside of the fitting, okay? You want to cover the outside and the inside, okay? And in the inside. That way it will prevent it from leaking. So then you have your bucket with a connection and you have a hose, okay? So when you have your other end of the hose that you need to close, because you don't want water to be escaping here, you want to make small holes in the hose where you want. So you make a slit. You just make a tiny hole, okay? Just a tiny hole. Okay, then you see, I made a tiny hole in the hose. When you're done though, you want to fold over and tie this hose to itself so it seals, okay? It's okay if it leaks a little, but you don't want the water to be spraying out of the hose. Then when that end is closed, you can put your holes 30 centimeters or whatever plant you're growing, or even a tree. You could surround this around a tree and water a tree if that's what you have, okay? So the reason I teach you like this is because I want you to take this idea and I want you to master it, to think, to become an engineer, a creator of a new system for yourself. Because you can do it, okay? I believe in you that you can do it.